All right, so here we are for another episode of SaaS Dads, and today we've got the awesome Bryce DeCora from CloseBot. Welcome, mate.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I didn't tell you this, Bryce, and I deliberately didn't tell you because SaaS Dads actually was born out of a conversation that you and I had ages ago. There you go. So, you and I, as we do marketing webinars and podcasts all the time where we're talking about our businesses and what we do and, giving people tips and value and trying to help agencies and all those kind of things. And you interviewed me for a podcast and we were talking about myCRMSIM, and there was a point where we actually started talking about just running a company, what it was like, and the journey that you're on with CloseBot, which I want to get to in a minute for anyone who doesn't know much about CloseBot, your journey to building $100 million company, which is the journey that you're on. So we want to get into that. But when we were talking, we kind of stopped talking for a moment about our businesses so much and tips and all that. And we actually got into a real deep kind of conversation about what it was like for you being on that journey and also for us at myCRMSIM on that building a company and what it's like and managing customers and dealing with staff and all the things that you go through while you're trying to build. And I got off of that conversation with you and I was like, that was so different to anything that I'd ever done before. And it was about 20 minutes, somewhere in the middle of this kind of hour-long thing that we did. I was like, I want to do more of those. How do I do that? And then I just had this idea ruminating in my head for quite some time. And then SaaS Dads was kind of born. So thank you, mate. You didn't know that, did you?
Yeah, you're welcome. Purely accidental.
So it's so cool to have you on here. Now, for those that don't know you, they should. But Bryce, the founder of CloseBot, and would you like to just describe in your own words what CloseBot is and like the mission that you guys are on with CloseBot?
Yeah, first of all, I have to say co-founder
Co-founder,
because
sorry, mate.
my wife
Yeah,
came in and does a lot of work on the business. There's a lot to do
yeah,
in a business, but CloseBot is conversational AI for lead qualification and booking. Specifically, though, we do it through a drag and drop job flow builder. And we've been doing this with objectives and flows for about 3 years. So there are some others in the industry now trying to catch up, but it really is our bread and butter. And yeah, you do a really good job at it.
yeah. I think you do. We really think you do. We recommend you to everybody, basically
Thank you.
as well. So, like guys, if you want a chatbot, there's plenty of chatbots. Or if you want one that kind of does a bit more, go and chat to Bryce and CloseBot. And here we go. We've done some webinars together. But what I want to talk about today, as part of SaaS Dads, is really that understanding around like building a business and juggling family life, right? Because it is not easy. And I know that you are on a big acceleration curve with CloseBot in the business, probably doing a bunch of things that you might not have ever done before or experienced before while raising a family. And you've got boys that are 8 and 6 around that kind of age, right there,
Close, 9 and 4.
9 and 4. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've never had 9 and 4 year olds before either. Like, I've got a 7 year old. I never had a 7 year old before. I had a 6 year old last year. That's different to a 7 year old today. So
Yeah.
it's a constant new journey of progression, right? And how we manage that as SaaS owners and just getting through life and progression and all those kind of things and the juggling of all of that. So before we get into all of that, how when you started CloseBot, how old were your kids when you actually started that journey with CloseBot?
Oh, that would have been, it's hard because the journey kind of started when I first started dabbling in software, but CloseBot officially started about 3 years ago. So it would have been 1 and 6.
Okay, so 1 year old starting your entrepreneurial journey and a 6 year old, and then Laura being involved in that as well. So
Yeah, and she wasn't involved at the very start. She came in, maybe 9 months in or so.
okay, so still even just under two, very young. That's the kind of age that you got. There's a lot of hands-on stuff with kids at that kind of age as well.
Yeah.
And what was that like in the beginning, like starting this up, that journey? Did you have the idea at that time as well with CloseBot? It's like, okay, I'm going to build this into something great, or it's like, okay, this is this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a lifestyle for me and Laura and the family. What did that look like in the beginning?
No, it was purely survival. It was something that I built really for my own use. I was doing real estate with my wife
Mm,
before, and I was doing a lot of text blasting, database reactivation stuff just for our own acquisition of properties and flips and like rehab projects. And then the real estate market kind of died. And then I just needed a way to make money for our family. And
mm.
so I turned to like trying to resell this software.
And building out CloseBot and selling that to
Yeah.
other agencies, realtors, whoever.
I mean, it started out just trying to find developers who wanted to build it into their stuff. And
Okay.
then enough people were asking me specifically about high level. So I made it specifically for high level. And that's where things really started to take off.
Okay. And then what did your family, friends, family members think? Because you go from property to building AI. How's everybody's reaction to that? And like, oh, Bryce, you've got a young family, you still got to pay the bills, right? How did everybody sort of react to that? And especially, I mean, Laura as well. I know Laura's super supportive, but how did everybody take that when you go, all right, well, we're going to do this
Yeah.
instead now?
First of all, I've had this conversation with my mom. So if she's if she ends up hearing this, she knows already. She hasn't been very supportive of these life decisions I make. I
Okay.
left Boeing to do real estate, and there was no congratulations. There was a what the hell are you doing? And then this was the same sort of thing. She'd finally gotten comfortable with me doing real estate. Things were going well. I was supporting my family. And then she saw me doing this and she's like, what the hell are you doing?
Mm,
So, she's come around to it now and we laugh about it now. Laura was similar. And I don't blame her because things were very comfortable when I was at Boeing. And then I left and things got really hard. And we did real estate long enough that things started to get better. And then the market crashed and we ended up losing quite a bit of money. We had quite a bit of debt just leveraged into properties. And I wanted to start this software. And she was like, and this wasn't my first time doing software. I had other failed ideas. And so with this one too, she was like, no, don't, please. And she ended up going to one of her mentors and just saying like, hey, so Bryce wants to do this thing. He has a history of doing these things. And they were like, well, will he be happy if he doesn't do the thing? And she's like, oh, no. So then she was like, hey, if it's going to make you happy, and this is the same thing she told me when I was leaving Boeing, if it's going to make you happy, and like, I know you care about the family, so I know you'd never put us in harm's way, um, then do it. And so I did.
So what made you do that then? Like if you were comfortable, as you just said, you were comfortable at Boeing, things were nice and easy, and then you ditch that to go to real estate. So that's a complete change of transition. And from what I know about real estate anyway, it's like, well, you're going to make some money, but there's going to be a point when you make the money. There's no money. It's not like a steady income with real estate. You kind of got a load of cash and then no cash kind of thing. So you've gone from stability to instability, and then maybe forced because you mentioned things happen with property, the economy, and stuff like that, but then forced to AI and building chatbots. What is it about Bryce that makes you crave almost instability, I guess, because you've taken yourself there, right? And there's a lot of us like that. Like, as entrepreneurs, it's like we're not comfortable unless there's a little bit of chaos, right? We've got to have something whirling around us. I think I'm like that to a degree. If it's too comfortable, I'm like, got to start another project. Something else needs to happen. What do you think
I
it is?
don't think it's something that you and I have that makes us crave instability. It's something you and I have that makes us do something about it.
Mm,
There's a lot of people, I'd say most people have an area of their life where they're unhappy, but they don't do anything about it. And for me, it was just being in enough, like reaching the pain threshold getting that high enough that I was willing to do something drastic about it.
Mm.
A lot of people are in unhappy areas of their life, but they're not unhappy enough, so they don't do anything about it. And
Yeah.
everyone's threshold is different. For mine, it's my my threshold is relatively low, where when I cross that threshold, I do something about the discomfort. But some people have a relatively high threshold, so they won't do anything about it unless they almost are forced to.
Yeah.
And that threshold gets lower as you exercise it more. So at Boeing, I was miserable. I I, I should have left like a year before I did, probably.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was forced out. And then everything after that, it just got easier to take leaps.
Okay. And then, so you go through that path, Boeing, real estate, starting this AI company. You've got a 1 year old. What does that look like for Bryce at that point in your life? You go, okay, I've got to make something work here. I got a young family, a wife that kind of supported me, but kind of behind me, kind of going, yay, you can do this, Bryce, but what the hell are you doing? Mum is not really understanding what's going on. How's that like? How are you managing through that?
Yeah, that's seems like a lifetime ago dealing with that.
Mm,
Because we had also just moved into a house that was kind of a live-in flip situation. And so we had buckets all over the house collecting water from the rain. We live in Washington, so it rains a lot.
okay.
And we found out we were pregnant initially from the house because it had fleas in one of the bedrooms, and my wife was the only one getting eaten by the fleas. And I looked it up online, and it said online that that could be a sign of hormones that are attracted to pregnant women. So that's how we found out
All
that we
right.
were pregnant. Yeah, with our youngest.
That's
So
not
we're
a,
like, and at this point, that this is a year into us being in the house,
yeah.
but we didn't have a ton of money, so it's not like we could repair all these things. Um, so things were hard. We had no savings and tons of credit card debt and new family, um, no family in the area to help us. So it was really a do or die sort of situation. We're lucky, I think, that we were in a do or die situation because then you're either going to make it work or the alternative is pretty awful.
Yeah. And dealing with the kids, is that like, are you just dealing with work as you can? Are you hands-on with the kids at that? Is there a big separation for you between work and the kids? Laura's maybe looking after the kids, I don't know. So it's like, well, Laura, you got to look after the kids because I've got to work because I'm doing, I don't know how many hours I know, like most entrepreneurs are like, it's definitely not 9 to 5 when you get started. How did you guys manage that balance, and for you and for Laura to have your kids, have a family, if there's any time to be together, like how did you manage that, or was it just a case of head down, bum up? This is what I'm doing for a while because I've got to make this work.
She made enough commission to just, I don't know how it worked out. She made enough commission to just limp us along on our credit card payments. So we never went into default on credit card payments. And luckily, we maxed out our credit cards to refurbish our downstairs, which had two apartments. So we lived there for free. Like the downstairs apartments paid our mortgage, utilities, electricity. So we knew as long as we could make the credit card payments long enough to not lose the house, we'd be fine. So that was our focus, like not losing the house. that was
It's
that was the
stressful.
first thing. And Laura was able to work and virtually most of the time. And then if she had showings, she would take the kids. But I was working all the time. Even like I'd have to get up at night and make sure the platform was running, which it usually wasn't. So I'd have to fix whatever new bug came up to crash the platform.
Mm,
And that's That was like 6 months of that sort of thing. Me just working literally all the time.
Yeah,
And
no,
her knowing that like I'm like on call to the software. Like when it needs me, I'm gone.
yeah,
Might be an hour, it might be 24 hours.
yeah. And that's very early in the journey. So, and you said you didn't really have a vision for it exactly when you started. Is that, do you think you didn't have a vision? It was just like, this is something I've got to do. I'm going to build something and something's going to come out of this. You just like know it's going to come out.
Well, since I built it for myself,
Yeah,
I knew the problem existed at least with sample size one. It turns out a lot of people had this problem of
yeah,
trying to find a way to like, how do you manage VAs at scale to qualify leads and book appointments? So I had enough of a vision to try to solve my problem. And then once I found other people with that problem, it just further established my ICP, the ideal customer profile.
yeah. And that vision's changed quite a lot. And this is one of the things that I really admired about you. Um, when you literally, I say, I say you came out on Facebook. I don't mean that way, but like you came out on Facebook and you said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the company I'm building, and I'm going to build this to $100 million company." And I remember seeing that video of you on Facebook, and I was like, "That Bryce has got some balls, honestly." Like to come out and say that, like on a recording for everyone, said, "This is what I'm going to do," and that was a yearish ago, something like that, give or take. And I really admired that. I remember saying that, I went, whether he
Thank
makes it
you.
or not, I'm supporting this guy because, like, go for it. Like, that's awesome. And I really admired it when you did that. So you'd been through a big step from like early days of what you just described there, of like, the financial challenges, young family, buckets around the house, all that, which I didn't know any of that then. I actually had no idea about any of that. So thank you for sharing all that. But like to put yourself on Facebook, and you did this to friends, family, in Facebook groups. Say, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to build CloseBot to $100 million. So what changed for you between back then and like where you got to actually have the courage to go on video and just announce that to everyone? Because like your wife supported you, but maybe didn't believe in you, as you mentioned before, fully. Mum's not fully behind you. I'm not sure if you had anyone in your corner, particularly you haven't mentioned anyone. Hopefully you had someone behind you.
It was our users,
Your
really,
users. Okay,
all,
cool.
all 12 of them.
Or I
It
think you
was
had,
more,
yeah,
I don't know how many it was at the time, but yeah,
no, I think you definitely had more than 12 when you did that, because that was a few years into your journey. But
yeah.
like that's a big shift. That's a big shift in a vision, self-belief. What happened between, like, was it just users? Was it like, okay, I know I've got something great here. Here's the feedback. Now you have a clear vision of what you want to do. And what gives you the courage to go on and just say that to everyone? Hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build $100 million company here.
Well, a few things. We started to hire staff, including my wife. She came on as COO. But when other people depend on the product to be successful, that lights a new fire under you.
Mm,
So we had the staff relying on us, and then just I saw eyes start to turn to CloseBot from other, not even competitors, but like one competitor, and then other like adjacent softwares, just wanting to take what we had, whether it be through direct competition or the idea to build competing products with us, seeing how successful we were, and then knowing that, oh man, these other people, they have more experience in doing this stuff, and I really have to think bigger if I want the business to survive. So um, conversations around people wanting to acquire us, people wanting to be acquired, and then realizing that like I'm thinking way too small
mm,
if I want the business to have a future. And that's when, I mean, we came back from the high level summit and some of those conversations happened. And we decided if we're going to play big, we need more money. So that's when we did our funding round, we did the raise. And that's where I had to establish the vision, both for myself and for the investors that invested money, like where we're going.
Yeah. Because that's a big thing, and taking on other people's money as well. So now you've got responsibility, you've got family, you've got staff, you've got OP, other people's money.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like family for a second, because now you've got staff and you've got to lead and mentor a team. Is there skills that you found as a dad that you bring in to like managing your team and staff, and like has that affected your approach to business leadership as you've grown as a dad to building a team as well?
I think it's kind of all together. It's hard to tell what lessons I've learned from being a dad and what lessons I've learned from running a business because they're synonymous now.
Mm, just running
Um,
parallel.
when I'm at home, I'm a dad and a business owner. That doesn't stop. And when I'm here at work, I'm a dad and a business owner. That doesn't stop. And it's been that way for me since I left Boeing 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I really can't remember what skills that I've learned from one or the other. They just both help me in both aspects, and some hurt me too.
Hurt you? What do you
I,
mean?
I mean, we all have strong qualities that have another side of the coin, whether they're learned or natural behaviors to us. Like, trying to think of an example. Like with having kids, like I've learned to be very direct and concise with them and strong when needed, like enforcing rules that are clearly defined, and doing that in the business too. But the other side of that coin is being approachable. So on one hand, I'm good at laying out clearly defined rules and metrics for success, but it's harder for me to be approachable with the people who are closest to me, which is our team and my kids. So just balancing the positives and negatives of all the qualities that we have as leaders and dads.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard thing to do with kids and parenting. Like I find that it's like you have to give rules and boundaries, right? I mean, I still listen, have listened to a lot of Jordan Peterson stuff, and he talks about it. It's like, yeah, you want your kids, they run around in a restaurant and they're doing whatever they want, and parents ignore them. And it's like, no, you don't want to be doing that with your kids. Like, kids need rules. Sit down on the chair because you want everyone to like your kids, right? No one likes your kids when they're unruly. They're not restrained to a certain degree. So having rules and boundaries for your kids is really important, because the best thing you can do for your kids is make everyone happy to see them. You want your
Yeah.
kids to be welcomed with a genuine smiling face, because there's a lot of people that have kids, and people will meet them and the families and partners, but they're just like, I don't like these kids, because they can be unruly, or they're not, you know, they don't have good manners or whatever it might be, because people worry about enforcing boundaries, or it's just too hard, just, oh yeah, don't worry about them. Let them, they're doing that, whatever. It's like, no, no, like restrain kids, give them rules, give them boundaries, that you will have way better kids that are, better liked, better associated in the long run. So rules and boundaries are really important, but then balancing that, like you say, with being approachable, because you can't be that dictator where they go, oh, you just tell me what to do all the time. And you want them to still be able to come and ask you questions. And that definitely transitions into business as well, with your team and your staff. And that's hard too sometimes, because you've
Yeah.
got things that just need to be done, and also short time frames, right? Because like I need this to be done now, and I've got to do this, and I don't have time to explain to you why that needs to be done now. Just do that. So, and that's really hard
Exactly.
sometimes. Yeah. So you got to kind of tell the people, say, look, or even if it's just like, okay, I need this to be done. I can't explain to you why. I've got other things to do. Can you just get that done for me now? And let them know that there's a reason for it. I just can't tell you right now. You don't need to know. You just need to do. That's it. It's a hard
Yeah.
balance,
But for
right?
for the culture, you also need periods of approachability and periods where you sit and have small talk. And that's the stuff I have to be mindful of, both with my team and with my kids.
Yep. And listening to them when they've got something to say, when they do come and approach you, not waving them off, especially
Yeah.
for kids. I've talked about this before on another um, another episode. I can't remember who that was with, but yeah, the importance of listening to your kids when they come to you with their problem, which can be, for want of a better word, trivial, as in, I just I can't find my teddy right now. They're devastated because they can't find their favorite teddy, right? Which isn't a big deal because you're busy doing something. We'll find it later. I know it's in your bedroom somewhere. It's probably under the pillow, because I just don't look. But for them, it's the most important thing in the world right now. And if they're
Yeah.
devastated, whatever you're doing can probably wait for a few minutes just to go and help them because they know that you're their rock, like you're their center that they have to be able to come to. And if you don't do that when they're young, what hope have you got of your kids coming and doing that to you when they've got a real problem later on with, kids at school, bullies, girlfriend issues, whatever. There's a whole world of problems coming. We've got young kids right now. God knows what the things are that are going to come up in the teens and later on. But yeah, you've got to, yeah, you're like, yeah, we know it's coming, right? But yeah, being approachable now for those things that are, not so important to us, but so important to them. We have to listen to them.
And
And
we have
then,
to teach them how to self-resolve instead
mm,
of giving them the answer, asking them questions that, like the 131, I think it is. Like, what's the one clearly defined problem? Like, okay, Alice, what, what's the problem? Same thing with your staff members. Okay, what is the problem? Getting them to clearly identify one problem is sometimes pretty difficult. But once you've done that and saying, okay, what are three things you could do to solve this problem? Just think about it for a second. What are three things you could do? And then, okay, which one of those seems the most viable? Like I do that with my kids, and it comes in handy with our team too. Nowhere in there did I say, hey, do this thing.
mm.
I made them realize that they can think through some of these things themselves. And I trust them to come up with their own solution to the problem.
131. I haven't heard it put like that
Yeah.
before. I know what you mean. Like I go through that process sometimes, but I haven't. I remember that's an easy way to remember
And
it. One
if
three one. I like that.
I'm more forgiving with my kids because they're kids, but if a team member comes up to me and they can't identify their one, I I have to have them go away, think about what their one problem is, and then they can come back to me later. And
Mm.
then we get to the three. And if they can't list three, or they can't just do three, again, sorry, go think about that for a little bit and come back to me. And then by the end of it, and once you do it enough times, they start to realize what you're doing. And they're like, okay, he's not going to tell me what the solution is. He's going to make me do that stupid 131 thing. I might as well just do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. No, I like that. I'll definitely remember that. The 131. I haven't thought about it. I do that process, but I haven't kind of succinctly thought that into there sometimes. So that's really good. Now your kids have grown up with you, like building CloseBot. So you are where you are now, and I know now you have a team. Things are a lot more stable, I guess, in terms of family, work-life balance, all those kind of things. But they would have grown up where dad's kind of like working, he's doing this. Do they understand what you're doing? How do you explain to your kids kind of the journey that you're on? Because they're still pretty young. How do you explain that to them? And what do they understand as well about what you do?
It's harder when they're younger. They don't they don't understand much for a long time. But with my 9-year-old, he's been more inquisitive, especially over the last year. Just asking, like, so what does CloseBot do? Like you made CloseBot, right, Dad?
Mm.
And those are all opportunities to explain to him how the world works. Oh, I didn't build CloseBot. We have a team and we all built it together, that sort of thing. Those are really valuable times to teach lessons. And now he just came to an event with me and saw my two boys saw me speak on stage, which was cool.
Mm.
And they saw like our banner since we sponsored the event. And like Atlas was reading the banner and then asking questions like, oh, so is it like being able to like talk to your phone? Is that what it is? And so the ability to explain to them what lead qualification is and what it does and why our banner is there. And then our 4-year-old saw the CloseBot logo on my lanyard and he points at it and says, why is that there? And I was like, oh, what? And he points at the logo. So like they start to realize. And that's
Yeah.
really cool. But yeah, at a young age, it's really hard because they don't understand like why I'm frantically working and they're trying to talk to me and I'm saying, shh, please stop talking. Stop. Like it's really hard to
Yeah.
explain why I would frantically go into this black hole of the computer. They just see that I'm not paying attention to them.
Yeah. It's very difficult. I try with my son. So we have an agency group. There's about 2,500 people in there now. And I keep showing him things like that. I go, do you see why I'm busy? There's like 2,500 people and they don't all want my attention at the same time, right? But explain it to him. I go, these people, they message me, they ask me questions. I have 2,500 people here that need my attention. That's a lot of people, and I'm trying to make sure that I give them the attention that they need and deserve. And I'm also trying to give you attention too, and you're one person. So can you see that? And I actually show him like the growth, show him like the growth on our Facebook group, show him all that. And I also show him as well, like this Stripe account. Like I will show him Stripe. I go, look, this is how much money we made today. This is how much money we made last month. Can you see how this is growing? Like goes up and to the right. These are good things, right? That's what Dad's doing so that we can do all that. And that's how we have a nice home to live in and, all these things. And do you like food, by the way? He's like, yes, I like food. I'm like, this is how we pay for food. So just trying to explain to him things that he can kind of relate to, but still it's very difficult, especially at that young age. And
It is.
yeah, at 7, like having to go through the last holidays. We just had Easter holidays here, which was 3 weeks long. And my wife runs a health retreat. She's very busy. She only just opened that in January, so she's super busy. And so he just was at home with me for 3 weeks, and I was trying to. I
Wow.
I stupidly didn't even realize when the holidays were. I launched our new iMessage integration on the first day of the school holidays. It was going to go live that night. I had to make like a bunch of training videos that morning so that we could release that night. And I've got my son sitting in the corner behind me, just going like, "Are you done yet, Dad? Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" Breathe. And it's so hard and it's so difficult not to just get upset with them as well because they don't realize what you're doing to that degree.
Yeah.
And like shouting at them doesn't help in any way,
No.
shape, or form. It just makes them upset. And then they think that, well, you care about that more than you care about me, which isn't true. And it's a real challenge. I find that
It's good
balance.
for them to see you going through the really hard work, though, even if that means sometimes, yeah, you do go through those struggles and it's hard not to lash out. But as long as it's not all the time, I think they'll remember more like the love you have for them, the time you do spend with them, and how hard you worked for them, the family.
Yeah. We hope. We hope. Talking about hard work, you're a bit of a CrossFit fan, aren't you? I know that about.
Yeah, I try to be.
Try.
Gosh, I've been traveling so much. I feel like I just get into a rhythm at the gym and then I'm gone for a week and it's at a resort. So there's an all you can eat buffet, you know?
Yay, time off. Carb loading.
So I'm trying to get better at like keeping good habits while I'm traveling too, but that's tough.
CrossFit's good. I did CrossFit for probably about 12 years. I don't anymore. I do a lot of CrossFit style training just in my garage at home. I don't train at that intensity anymore because I like to be able to sit down.
Yeah.
If
Or
anyone has
like
a,
I was doing handstand push-ups and it wasn't so against the wall, the kipping handstand push-ups were,
yeah,
it was at the end of the warm-up and I wasn't even doing a handstand push-up. I was just doing tripod. So I had my head on the ground and my hands on the ground and my feet on the wall. And
mm,
I just started to bend my legs and it put some weird pressure on my neck and it popped. And that was like 3 months ago. I haven't been able to feel my thumb since.
yeah,
And I had like a week of excruciating pain, 3 days where I could barely sleep. But
it's,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah, so it's fine that you slowed down on CrossFit, I think.
Yeah, I'm in it for the longevity. Like I'm definitely never winning the CrossFit game, so I gave up that, gave up that vision. I was like, never going to do that. Not that I was always going to ever get rid of that, but no. But the thing about CrossFit though, like it's hard, right? CrossFit is hard to do, right? Whether people like it or not. I mean, there's a lot of people don't like CrossFit. They think it's crazy, right? It's just hard to do. You get a lot of good people doing CrossFit, and by that I mean good people because it's hard to do. So it naturally
Yeah.
attracts people that kind of enjoy challenging things. So that's why you have a good community around there as well. And I think it teaches you a lot about yourself, about resilience too, because you'll do a workout sometimes and just the achievement of finishing the workout is the achievement. Doesn't necessarily matter what time you got, the weight you got. You could have come last, but you finished something that maybe you couldn't do before, like handstand push-ups, whatever it might be, you know?
Yeah.
So I couldn't even do handstand push-ups last week. This week I managed to do a workout, and even if I scaled and I did 3 instead of 10 in the workout, that's a huge step forward. So it really gives you a big boost in like confidence of your own abilities, I think. Do you find that with that as well? Does that help you with business too?
Yeah. Um, helps to be able to go through struggles that aren't business struggles because there's no way really to like be going through those fitness struggles and think about work. So the skills at work translate to the gym and the skills at the gym translate to work. It's also nice to have the gym because it forces me to not think about work, which is really hard to
Mm,
do. I think about it when I'm talking to people, when I'm like just normal people about other things. My mind shifts to work and it's really hard to refocus on the conversation. Sleeping, know, doing anything. So that's the one time where I'm in too much physical pain and have too much focus on finishing this damn workout that
yeah.
I can't think about work. And that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I really like that. It's like active meditation. That's how I always used to view it. It's like active meditation because I can't think about anything else right now. All I got
Yeah.
to do is stay alive. I got to pick this thing up, then I got to run out that door, and then I got to get back in, and I got to pick this thing up again, and then I got to run out that door, and I got to stay alive for the next 20 minutes.
I
And then,
started playing video games again too recently. Got a PlayStation 5 for my son,
okay,
and I've been playing that a little bit every night and play Fortnite. So like it's so intense and you have to focus so hard so you don't die. And that's another thing that allows me to escape work.
just stay alive. Just stay alive.
Yeah. Got to keep my virtual person alive.
Yeah. So you into a bit of gaming with the kids? So that's a new thing, just started? Do you do
Yeah.
much? Do you do much tech with the kids? I've spoken to a few of the SaaS dads around this, and all have varying degrees of like where we do tech with our kids. Like our view is we've kept our son off tech as much as possible. He's only 7. We like it's not if, it's when he's going to get onto tech. We've just chosen like for now. There's no iPad for him. He doesn't have a gaming console. He doesn't really watch a lot of TV. It's like when we watch TV, we watch TV together, movies as a family at the weekend. Or like last night, I watched a thing with him after school for 40 minutes about the world's most deadly creatures in Asia or something. So we tend to watch TV with him. Like it's not just turn it on and that's it. If he needs to be, what's the right word? Well, he basically has to find things for himself to do. That's the way we've approached it. It's like he can't just go and turn on a screen
Yeah.
and fill in his brain. It's like, no, you got to go and find something to do. Go read a book, build some Lego. There'll be a point in time. What's your approach with your kids and technology, like living in a tech world? Do you think to keep the kids off tech? Are you kind of putting them on tech? Do you think it's part of the evolving future, so they have to do
Um,
it anyway?
we're mindful of tech time. But they do. They play on iPads. Sometimes we need it. Like I say need, we don't need it. It's the easier option.
Mm.
Um, definitely don't let them just like randomly peruse YouTube for hours. They have games that we vet and we let them play and but also like if they've been on it for an amount of time or a lot in the past few days, then we'll force them to go outside and play Legos. But typically they get bored and they'll go do that themselves anyway.
They'll take themselves off the device.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of the things. Like our son, he's just started now. Like he wants Minecraft. Me and my wife have a disagreement about it, whereas I'm more leaning towards. I think at his age now, it's time to let him start having some access to it himself, so that he can learn to do that and self-regulate. She's definitely a no. She doesn't want him to have anything for as long as possible. So we're just kind of figuring that out. And we kind of got to a point where it was, well, okay, he wants Minecraft. So we were going to get him Minecraft for his birthday, which is coming up in a couple of months' time when
Minecraft is really cool for them.
yeah. So when he
The
turns
whole
8,
building creativity thing. And my son, he reads so much about Minecraft now. He has so
yeah,
many books. So it's cool that it's given him that kind of passion for reading on a certain subject too.
yeah, yeah. My son reads everything. Like he read the whole Harry Potter series when he was 5. Like he's a ridiculous reader. He reads tons about Minecraft, so he knows everything about it. Um, so yeah, we were like, okay, when you're 8, if you just wait till you're 8, we're not just going to get you. Like we don't just buy stuff for him anyway. It's like, okay, you got to wait till your birthday for something. It's not just coming out tomorrow. So that was going to happen, and then he just decided in the last couple of days that now he wants an axolotl. I don't know if you know what they are. Yeah, he wants an
Yeah.
axolotl, and he said, "Oh, maybe can I have an axolotl instead of Minecraft?" So I'm like, "Cool, you can do that instead." So maybe we're postponing the gaming phase for a little while longer, whether it's Christmas or his next birthday. I have no idea, but or maybe he'll change his mind by the time his birthday comes around. I have no idea, but an axolotl seems to be his go-to now, and he wants
You.
that, which I think is cool as well. Anyway, because like, okay, cool, you can have a pet, and then you got to learn to look after something.
Yeah.
So, but it's a real hard thing to do, like the whole gaming screen thing, and that's just the path we've taken. Totally get it. And sometimes we have done the digital babysitter, YouTube. I have a little projector, and I'll put that. My wife's office is next door, but she actually doesn't really work here much. She's mostly at the retreat. So sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I have to get this done. You can put the projector on. You can watch YouTube for an hour while I'm doing this. So I know he's next door, and like it has to happen sometimes, but it's pretty rare. Like we've really tried to get him to have to think about stuff. Like he's got to go and do something, and he's pretty creative. He has a good creative brain out of that. But it's definitely a case of when, because I mean, you're in it. You're in the AI space, right? It's not going to get less. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So we've got to teach them how to manage and work in that space as well. But I figure that, yeah, the first few years, that's kind of our approach. Is like, well, the first few years he doesn't really need to learn it yet, and they can pick things up so quickly, like they're so fast. I mean, he worked out ages ago. Like he would start watching the TV, right? This was God, he would be 5-ish or something like, and he would just go and grab the remote control and
Yeah. Oh
like turn the
wow.
TV on. Like we used to kind of hide the remote control, and then he got to sort of 5, and then he would go and find the remote control. So then we hid it in a place where there's no way he could find it. We took it away, and everything runs in my house now off of our phones, and he's not allowed to touch my phone. That's like he never uses my phone. He never gets handed the phone. That's a complete no for me. And there's passcodes on there, so he can't access the phone. But I have an Apple Watch that I never use, and it literally sits on charge on nightstand on my bed. And I bought it years ago. I used to paddleboard a lot. So when we first had our son, I used to go paddleboarding. I didn't want to take a phone with me, but I wanted to be contactable in case my wife needed me for some reason. So I got an Apple Watch with the telephone option on it. So I'd disappear off paddleboarding, and that way she could call me if she needed me. Anyway, it sat on the side stand for years because I don't wear a watch. I don't really like having a watch on too much. So it sits on the side stand just on charge. And he figured out when he was 5 that he could actually get the watch and he could turn on the TV through the watch. And I came down one morning and he was sitting there just watching the TV with like the watch in his hand. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's just sitting there kind of like, when they look at you like,
Yeah.
mm. I
Yeah.
was like, how did you turn that on? And he just kind of held up the watch. I was like, you turned that on with the watch. And I honestly didn't even know that you could do that myself. I'd never done it. And I was like, that point where you're like, well done, but I'm angry with you.
Yeah.
Just didn't know how to handle it with him. But it just shows me as well. It's like, he's going to figure it out pretty quickly. If he can just grab something and figure that out and then have the mindset to take it from one room to the other room and go, oh, this remote, I can turn that on and now I can start watching TV. Like, I'm not too worried that he's,
They're brilliant.
yeah, they're so smart. They're so much smarter than we ever give them credit for.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, um, for you, like, we've talked a lot about the business, like daily habits. I think fitness, except for when you're away eating on the buffet, plays a big part in your daily routines and stuff like that. Is that the stuff that you do? So, like, if family pressure does mount too much, like we've got to manage family, kids, work. Is that your de-stress? Like, how does Bryce turn off? Is it literally like, I mean, you mentioned CrossFit? Is that your big one thing to get off there, or how do you de-stress? It's that.
Yeah. Really is. Yeah. Working out. Spend every morning for like 45 minutes with Laura, just sitting and having coffee.
Yeah,
So that's our time. We do watch trash TV. So there's that.
just chewing gum for the brain.
Like,
Got a favorite trash TV recommendation?
yeah, we've been watching Botched lately. Have
Don't
you heard
know
of
that.
Botched?
No.
That's a series where these plastic surgeons work on people who have botched previous plastic surgery.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
That
just garbage TV.
I don't mind stuff like that. I like it's not Ink Masters, the tattoo one where they
Yeah.
make tattoos, but there's another one which is would be a similar version to Botch, but
Similar.
for tattoos, where people have got terrible tattoos and they do the cover-ups on
Yeah.
them. Like I
I
love
forget
seeing
what
that.
that one's called.
Yeah,
Is it?
cover-ups or something.
I,
I don't know.
yeah.
But the creativity that people can come up with that stuff, I like that. You can sit there and just watch and just admire the artistry that someone else can do. Like I have a couple of not very great tattoos that I got when I was like 23 and kind of had left home and I was like, right, I'm out and I traveled to another country. I was like, cool, I'm going to get a tattoo, which I don't regret at all, but they're not the best tattoos in the world. Like, but I really like tattoos and I like seeing the artistry that some people can make with tattoos. It's just incredible.
Well, my wife and I don't have plastic surgery, so that's not why we watch it.
Maybe just thinking for the future.
No, just we stumbled on it one time and it was just like a train wreck we couldn't look away from.
Fair, fair. It's always interesting to see how some people kind of want to live their lives and do that. Whatever they want to do, that's all fine.
Yeah.
Should just let everyone live their life and be peaceful and just go, cool, that's you. You do you, I'll do me. As long as it's not causing any trouble, it's all good. All right. So let's just back up and wrap up, I guess. If you could think back, because you had like troubling start, I would say, from everything you've described there, from moving along and then stress of property not working, credit card debts to launching CloseBot, young family. If you could go back and do things in a bit of a different way, is there something you would prioritize or change as you went through? Like, do you think there's a different way that you could have approached things, or is that just the path that you had to go through, do you think, to get you where you are today?
I mean, I wouldn't change anything because it led me to where I am today. But there were periods where things I was doing didn't work out because I wasn't solving a problem. Definitely don't go and try to make money by building something for the sake of building something. You need to find a problem that a group of people have and solve that problem with software. If you are experimenting for the sake of experimenting and learning, that's one thing. But like I built my own CRM that I was doing database reactivations out of and building AI into it. Like I had no reason to be building a CRM. That's not a problem in the market right now. There are plenty of great CRM options.
Yeah, just something for you to do.
There's just something to distract me. It was fun for me.
All right. Well, you're pretty focused now. What are you most excited about in the future for both business and family? What are you most excited about for the future?
For business, the vision just keeps growing. Yeah, it's funny that you brought up the 100 million. I forgot about that. Um, but as I keep growing, so does the vision.
Mm. Has it got bigger? Is it 500 million now?
I don't even know what it is,
Don't know
but
where it's
it's
going to go to.
bigger.
Okay.
It's bigger. I'm really focused on what I want the product to do. I can't now openly talk about it because there are plenty of people watching what we do, which is
Hmm.
cool in itself. Seeing the CloseBot name pop up on other companies' uh, feature boards. Um, but yeah, we have some cool stuff we're implementing, and I want to build that stuff.
Yeah. We do too. Like we have cool stuff coming up and we just release features and we're the first people to do it in the market for like iMessage and stuff. And I know we'll have six competitors in 6 months. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
Just you just want to keep going. It's like I just want to build cool stuff. I want to build cool stuff for people that helps people and teach them how to use the cool stuff that we build to make their lives better. That's what I
like
want
the
to do.
money is not the driver. It is only because like I watch the money like a hawk, but it's for the purpose of
Mm,
wanting to hire more developers and staff members to keep growing the product. If you're getting into software to try to make a fistful of money and that's your main driver, you're just not going to make it.
yeah, I agree. Like I have a materialistic viewpoint on what we do. It's like it's the same thing. It's like this is the money that fuels the company. That's what it's doing. Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, like I don't even wear a watch. Like I don't have any stuff like that. I have no desire to buy new things. I don't get stuff. It's all driving forward for the company and what else can we do and build cool things and hire someone new and build out our team and build new products. So yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting journey.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Um, so let's wrap up with a couple of things. So if anyone wants to connect with Bryce to find out more, where do we find you, Bryce?
I think LinkedIn is the best place lately.
LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Not your new, was it Twitter that you set up with your 11 followers on
You
there?
can do there too.
You get to
Yeah.
13.
I I feel bad because I posted for a couple days and then I went on the vacation and
Yeah.
didn't post while I was on vacation, but I will be posting more there. But LinkedIn, I really try to post a lot of my higher level thoughts there. I read a lot of white papers and do some research and post findings there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, find Bryce on LinkedIn, everybody. Definitely a person to follow, going on an amazing journey. Thank you so much, Bryce, for today. If we're going to wrap this up, can we wrap this up? Is there anything you think that we haven't covered today, or a little bit of advice for anyone who's listening to this, who's going through their own SaaS journey? A lot of people going through the SaaS journey, part of the high level community. It's not easy. you've gone through your journey there. Like, it's not easy. What advice do you give to people that are going through their journey at whatever stage they're at, um, that you could maybe go back and give to Bryce 3 years ago? I know you said you wouldn't change anything, but what advice could you give to Bryce of 3 years ago?
Embrace the hard. I know it always feels like you're just 3 weeks away from having everything done, but you're not. It's never going to end. So just embrace it. Um, and it's kind of like working out. Uh, the the difficulty remains the same. Like my heart rate during a workout always hits that max threshold of heart rate.
Mm,
But at the start, maybe you can do 10 reps. And at the end, with that same heart rate, you can do 100 reps. Uh, your problems are going to start relatively small and feel huge. But it's always going to feel huge, but your huge just changes.
yeah,
The problems that I stressed out about 3 years ago are like nothing now. If I encounter those problems, it's like nothing to me. I have much bigger problems to worry about. Never goes away, so just enjoy the journey.
perfect, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today, Bryce. I really appreciate it, man. Good to chat to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, mate.